Late this afternoon, President Trump decided to stop trying to put the citizenship question on the 2020 census. Instead, he is signing an executive order for all federal agencies to compile lists of American citizens, non-citizens, and undocumented immigrants. Joining us now to talk more about this is Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Mackowiak and the Advocacy Director for Progress Texas, Sam Robles. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Sam, let's hear it. What do you think of the president's executive order on compiling lists of different categories of people here?
I think this shows that Trump was defeated in his quest to put on the citizenship question in the 2020 census. And what we've seen and heard over the last several months is that Trump was advised not only by lawyers but by his aides to stop this pursuit. And also in the context of what happened just days ago with the Supreme Court, is that it wouldn't sit well with the court if the president came back with additional items and ordered the government to continue to seek this question. And so what we do need to look at with this executive order of the president is to look at it through the context of what is currently happening in our country. And that is that just miles away on the southern border of Texas and along the west border, there are thousands of children who are being detained, and we're just days away from an immigration raids that are happening in our country. And so it does pose a question, and it does show us that he's furthering this anti-immigrant agenda and posing fear to so many families across the country.
Matt, what are your thoughts on today's actions, and could there be another legal fight on the administration's hands because of this?
Well, someone somewhere always chooses to sue President Trump no matter what he says or does. So I'm sure there'll be another lawsuit. I think I saw just before I came out here that LULAC is intending to sue over this information sharing executive order within the government. So that doesn't surprise me. In this case, if you look at the ruling that Chief Justice John Roberts had in the majority, he didn't say that the question couldn't be asked. He just said that the justification the government was using was inadequate. And that's on them. That's on the Commerce Department. They didn't do a good enough job. They didn't do it quickly enough. And this is less about the issue and more about the timing. You know, the printing has already begun for these census questionnaires. Had to begin July 1st in order to get done and keep the census on time. So that's really why they decided not to move forward. Now, this executive order allows different government agencies to share data, and we can find out exactly how many citizens we have, how many legal residents, non-citizens we have, and how many legal immigrants we have. It would be useful to know that as we determine what kind of government programs and funding we need going forward.
Sam, what do you think the president expects to gain from the executive order?
I think what we've continued to see within his administration is that he's using immigration as a fear-mongering tactic to appeal to his extremist base. And so what we hope to see going into this weekend is making sure that churches, organizations, services across Texas and throughout the country are able to provide immigrant families and mixed status families with know your rights information, to making sure that folks are protected in this process, and making sure that while there are political influences outside of their control, that they are here in our community. They're the backbone of our economy, and we are here to stand with our immigrant families and with our citizens as we continue to fight for fair representation throughout the census process.
Matt, do you think the president will get the information he hopes to with this executive order when it comes to compiling lists? You're talking about undocumented immigrants. I would imagine that's more of a guess, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we've had estimates of 11 or 12 million illegal immigrants in the country recently. Could be higher than that. There may be as many as 1 million that come in this year alone. So it would be good to know what that number is. Let's talk about the immigration raids on Sunday, because I think this is important. This is not the Trump administration identifying any immigrant anywhere and just pulling them out of their house and deporting them. This is a small number of people who have removal orders, which have been signed by a judge, which say that they have to be deported by law. So if the Democrats have a problem with the law, then they need to try to change the law, and they need to come to the Trump administration and try to work out a bipartisan agreement. That's all this is, and this is a very small number of people who, by law, have to be deported, and that's what the administration is going to begin to do. They're finally standing up for the rule of law and for enforcing the law, which is something we haven't seen recently.
We are out of time, but Matt, Sam, thank you both for coming in and sharing your perspectives with us today.